Shai, you always seem to play with so much poise and composure, but what are the emotions like when you're on a tidal wave of a run like that at the start of the fourth quarter? What's going through you emotionally?
Just keep stacking possessions, keep getting stops, most importantly. That's what allows you to win, but when you're playing like from behind, you need stops or else game's over. So that was like my focal point, and we did a really good job of stringing together stops to start the fourth, and that's what gave us a chance to come back and win.
Within those stops, they only scored 8 points in the paint after halftime. What, maybe from an execution standpoint, did you guys do at a high level to prevent them from getting downhill, getting second chances, getting any layups?
One more time, sorry?
Sorry, they only had 8 points in the paint in the second half. Just either tactically or an execution thing, what was it that prevented them from getting anything down low?
Yeah, I'm not sure what it was, but Coach had came in at halftime and said they were like maybe 19 for 23 at the rim in the first half, and no matter who you play, giving up points at the rim to the most efficient shots in the game is never the recipe. We know that, and we wanted to change that in the second half and just control the things that we can control, and we did enough of it to get a W.
Shai, obviously, Mark never starts with you in the fourth. I guess when he tells you going into the quarter that you're going to start with that lineup in the fourth, what are you thinking?
He had asked me like midway through the third if I wanted to like stagger the rotation, which is me come out instead of playing the whole third and play the whole fourth. The way the game was going, the way Dub was playing, I figured it'd be a good opportunity to try, and he pulled the trigger, and it worked. Dub had it going, carried the load, and then I was fresh and getting up to play the whole fourth.
And I can imagine you felt the disparity between what the first quarter felt like and what the fourth quarter felt like. I don't know that you guys always like 24-0 a team to start a quarter, but you've had similar runs. Does it feel like there's a sort of inevitability and that sort of kill shot type of run for you guys?
Yeah, it's pretty fun. Coach always says like we want to exist in that identity in that kind of space as a group. Now, obviously, you're never going to be perfect and be there all season, but I think the biggest thing for us was recognizing what the game was, where we were, and like embracing it and doing what was needed to kind of flip the script, get the car back on the road, and we did a good job of that.
Shai, you've played a lot of basketball with Lou at this point. Can you talk about what it's like to be on the floor with him when he hits that level of point-of-attack defense on a guy like Hero?
Yeah, it's fun. He hounds the ball, is really physical, does it without fouling. It's the best in the league at it. He's done it for so many years now. He's our anchor defensively. Has his imprints all over this group, all over this rebuild, all over our success, and he's a big part of what we're doing here for sure.
Shai, it's the middle of a long season, All-Star break coming up. There's some games where you watch teams and it's just not their night and they might pack it in a bit. Like, what sort of will does it take to lock in like you guys did defensively to win a game like this?
Just we wanted the game. Go to the halftime. They had wanted it more than we did in the first half. We all felt that and knew that. And it'd be a waste of time, waste of opportunity to come out here and not give it our all. Waste everybody in the stands time, waste all the fans time, referees, everybody that came tonight to watch a basketball game if we didn't give it our all. And that's all we wanted to do and control in the second half. And we did so.
Shai, your reputation is one of the best finishers in the league, but most of that's sort of like under the rim. I just wanted to ask you, because in the last 6 games you've had 9 dunks. Is there anything specifically you're seeing, or are you feeling extra bouncy? What's sort of going on?
I don't know. I didn't know that. No, nothing at all. Guess I just had a little bit more opportunity. Nothing at all, though.
Anybody else? Joel, you can have the last one.
So you had 14 in the fourth, and that step back 3 you hit gave you guys the first lead of the game. But out of all the celebrations, I mean, you do the follow through when you hit that 3, but it felt like your most animated celebration was when the Joe hit that 3 off your pass. Why is that?
I'm trying to remember the play. Do you know what happened? Because I really don't. I don't.
Guard to guard, and he pops out. You know, hits.
I think it was because, like, my shot gave the lead, and when I shoot, I expect the ball to go in. So, like, I'm thinking it's going in. So when it goes in, I'm not like surprised or hyper or excited. But also, so we had taken the lead, and then they had called a timeout. And usually, like, the team that calls a timeout makes their run. And I think we came down, scored, and then Isaiah had hit a shot. So we were up 3, came down, scored up 5. Isaiah made that shot, and we were up 8. And I think, like, us having a 5-0 run out of their timeout was what, like, kind of made the distance in the game. And basketball's a game of runs. It's going to be ups and downs, but those little 5-0 stretches and 6-0 stretches, especially on the other team's terms, they take a toll and kind of a backbreaker. Like, they called a timeout to get the car back on the road and fix a few things, and we come out and have a 5-0 run. It's kind of like a stab in the gut. So I think that's why.
W, you guys maintained such great composure throughout the game, but what's going through you emotionally as you go through a 24-0 run to start the fourth quarter? Are you still that same level, or is there something else happening there too?
I'm gonna be real. I wasn't out there, so I don't know. It was fun to watch, though. But we sucked the first 3 quarters. I think, like, middle of the third, we kind of picked it up in that group. I think K. Rich's energy and what he brought defensively kind of carried us into that. I think I scored a little bit, but I think just his, like, approach in that third quarter is what gave us energy into the fourth for them to play the way they were playing. And then, you know, guys like Jay Will were solid, and that group just played really well. And then the ball finds energy, and we were able to basically make a big run. I don't think I came into like 4 minutes left, which was nice. So that's just our team. Like, we have so many guys that can go on any night. And, we did a good job getting the car back on the road, but our first, I don't know how many minutes that is, but maybe like our first like 30 minutes of the game wasn't good.
You mentioned your scoring, and you know they have a pretty well-oiled defense regardless of their personnel. What did you figure out over the course of the game that allowed you to get to your sweet spots on the floor?
Just trying new things offensively and just letting the game come to me. I think when everybody else in the court is also a threat, it just spreads the defense out naturally. And, we did a good job of just keeping our process the same on offense. Even though we weren't making shots, I don't think we were playing selfish. So that usually helps progression to come back when you're losing.
Jalen, you had a stretch where you had to stop at the rim in transition and closed out on a 3, then went on the other end and finished at the rim, and it caused Miami to call a timeout. Can you feel the momentum shifting in moments like that?
Yeah, that particular play, I was exhausted, I can't lie. So I was just more thinking, how fast could I get to the bench to sit down? But plays like that, yes, you can kind of feel something. I think that was during that, like, third quarter stretch, too, where we started to get it going a little bit. I think anytime you can force a team to make a timeout or, like, you can kind of feel it from there. Like, anytime you can kind of sense a little frustration or them press a little bit when you can kind of force them to call timeout so they don't want to call earlier in the game.
Deb, everybody who came in here before you was kind of talking about, how you want to have this sort of consistent play from quarter to quarter, maybe unlike today, but, seeing what you guys did in the fourth quarter, that's not completely uncommon now. Do you feel like that sort of kill shot type of run is, like, inevitable for this team by now?
I wouldn't say like a kill shot run. I feel like everybody has runs. I feel like ours are just very loud. So that's not the run that we would like to have, though, where you're, like, clawing back. You know what I mean? And it happens. There's so many games where you play so many games, it's about like one of these is bound to happen, every time. But it's good that we are able to course correct in the course of a game, and I think that's why our runs are so much louder than I would say probably other teams.
And it feels like it's been a while since we let the Shai pull up 3 questions breathe, but you got a good sample here now. You've seen him work on that for the course of a season. Like, what kind of tool is that now for you guys at this point?
Yeah, he's added it. Looks good. A lot of that too is like when you work on stuff, that's like the first part of it, but you still have to have like enough. I'm trying to figure out like an appropriate way to say this. Oh, confidence. That's a good one. A lot of confidence to still go out there in a game and, like, shoot it when you're down 20. Or just, like, how he has to carry the scoring load. When we're down, it's very easy to not shoot those shots. So he has a lot of confidence in his game to shoot those when we're down, when we're up, and shoot it with confidence. So I think that's the biggest part of his game.
You've made a slew of plays as a transition defender over the last couple of years. What is it, aside from maybe just effort, that makes you so effective in those moments?
In what regard? Like if I'm like a 2-on-1 or
transition
something?
defense. Yeah.
Oh. Some of it is like knowing when to crash, like when you have an opportunity to get an offensive rebound. At other times, like if I can get back early, I can kind of talk guys through. We call it traffic copping, but just like talk guys through what I see before they get down the court. And I think me being able to guard multiple positions, if Hart's behind the play, I can get a big, or I can go stop the ball too. And then, like you said, a lot of it's effort too, and just knowing personnel and just kind of making the right read. A lot of it comes down to effort, though. It's because you're kind of at a disadvantage when you're playing transition defense. So I would say effort and talking and just kind of knowing where plan A guys are.
Some, I guess, reverse psychology here, and thinking back to specifically like your first year when you guys were kind of in the heat position, playing the best team in the league. You guys put together a great game plan. You're leading for like 85 to 90% of the game, and then they hit you guys with a punch. Can you just talk about how like frustrating that can be?
Yeah, I mean, it sucks from the other end. I think that's what makes us good as well, is that we've had both ends of the spectrum. So we kind of know what that feels like. We know that being in that position, you can, like now we kind of know that we can inflict that on another team. But yeah, I think it's just one of those things too. If you have perspective from the other end, it's like, okay, we were beating a team for this long. Like, how can we now put together a full game? And I think that's something that we've been able to carry on since I've been here, is just how can we continually put together a long stretch of good game. And over the course of time, the more you try to apply that, then you become the team that can kind of figure out how to give out that like knockout punch.
We got Joel over here.
I know you still got a game before All-Star Weekend, but just going into
we do in like 12 hours.
Yeah, you're just going into the weekend though. Is there something you're looking forward to now that you are an actual All-Star?
Short term, some sleep. Just like the back-to-back is not easy, and then we're going to go to the obviously opposite coast. What am I most excited about? Honestly, I haven't seen my parents in a minute, so that'll be cool to see them out there. I'm going to be down the street from my school, basically, so I think that's going to be cool. I'll be able to see some people that I haven't seen in a while. But, yeah, I still haven't given it a ton of thought. I'm really trying to focus on, like, finishing out these games the right way and going to the break with some good momentum. And obviously we play the Timberwolves tomorrow, so that's enough motivation as it is, because they're a really good team. So I haven't given it too much thought, but I think just having like a little bit of a mental reset from the season a little bit, and just seeing like my family and friends.
And then following up on All-Star Weekend, I asked Shai a few weeks ago about the possibility of you guys playing against each other and competing.
Mm-hmm.
He said no promises other than he wasn't going to allow you to score on him. I just wanted to get your thoughts, and then idea of you guys playing against each other, how exciting that'd be.
Yeah, it should be fun. I don't know. I don't understand the format enough, but if we match up, hopefully we like. This is kind of like the transition group, I feel like, of like trying to maybe play hard during it. So I think I'm gonna see what the vibe is. But yeah, I mean, if he gets the ball and we're guarding each other, I don't think either one of us wants. There's gonna be video everywhere, so like nobody wants to get scored on.
Talked this afternoon about you all internally talking about sprinting through the finish line, and I just wonder, is that fourth quarter what that looked like?
Yeah, man, it took us a whole 3 quarters to get it going. But, you know, once we locked in on the defensive side, we got some stops in, and you seen what we can do, and it's really good to get the crowd into it like that. So, but, you know, we want to play like that the whole game, and just like you said, just get through the finish line this last game tomorrow, and look forward to the break.
Mark said that you were the first one tonight to really bring an edge and provide the pop that the team needed. Is there something that you're recognizing? Are you just feeling that instinctively? How do you know what kind of button that you need to press for the team when you get in there?
Yeah, just something I try to bring every night so I know that's one thing that I can be consistent with. Like I said, man, I give the glory to God on that. Just allowing me to stay ready, just stay in the moment and go out and feel the game out. But yeah, that's something that, I try to bring every night.
Kenrich, is there something about this team specifically that you'd point to about what makes it possible to go on these big runs like the 24-01 tonight?
Man, like I said, just the defensive side. Once we get that side of the ball, just get stops and get the crowd into it like we had tonight. It's a great feeling, and we're such a deep team that it can happen with anybody on the floor. So I just say that once we key in on the defensive side and stick to the game plan, and then good things like that happen.
Okay, Rich, obviously you've been with Shai basically since the beginning. I just wonder how you describe what you've seen from him this season and the kind of heights he's sort of reached in terms of being a game changer, if you will.
Yeah, man, I've been with him for 5 years now, and it's been amazing to see his growth. Every year he comes back with something new. I think this year is it's the 3-ball, and that's amazing to see as a player, and it's super inspiring. And not only is he just kind of gives off the confidence to the team, and he's also grown as a leader as well, being more vocal. Leading by example, the things that you see out of some of the all-time greats. So I'm super proud of him and the way he's grown these last 5 years.
Just to follow up, you mentioned Gordon as a leader. I know he's a guy that isn't necessarily obnoxious, loud type of leader. You mentioned he leads by example. What does that growth look like then for him year to year to grow as a leader?
Just knowing circumstances, situations, knowing your team, building good camaraderie with the team. It's all sorts of things, man. You can't just really pinpoint one thing, but it's just being a leader is the person doing the right thing, and he's always doing that. So big shout out to Shai.
Kenrich, you've been around J. Will as well his whole time, and Mark's talked about his improving defense. Playing with him and watching him play, how have you seen J. Will improve as a defender?
Yeah, man, he's always great on that side of the ball. Very vocal. He is the most vocal player on our defense. Always calling out coverages and always sacrificing his body, taking charges. But you can also see the growth in the pick and roll defense and the defensive rebounding. And it's really all the hard work is paying off for him. So proud of him as well.
Kenrich, as someone said earlier, you've been here since the beginning, and just sort of, I know you've talked about looking back on the past years, but looking back on those sort of lean years, did you ever think it would sort of get like this for this team? I mean, you guys are like 44-9, dominating the West, and like one of the best point differentials in NBA history.
Yeah, I always knew things would turn around, but I would say that I didn't know it would turn around this quick. It seemed like, just yesterday we lost 12, 15 games in a row, and now we're on the other side of that. So I definitely expected us to get better, but I didn't expect it to happen this fast.